Yes, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Dose podcast. Today we have yet another very special guest. This guy has been smashing it consistently for a number of years and is now the Don't Flop champion. Crafty, how's it going, man?
What's up, man? I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
No worries at all, man. I've been excited for this episode for a while, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on. Um,
That's all good, man.
Jumping straight into the questions, mate. Like you've you've been battling for a good, it's got to be about 5 years now. Is that right?
Pretty much to the day. Yeah, pretty much 5 years to the day when this is being recorded. Maybe a month and a month. Yeah.
Nice. And how was it that you got into battle rap originally then?
Yeah, it's funny. I watched it when I was in school/college. So when I was in school, I was already a little bit aware. Like my brother showed me some Iron Solomon battles and things like that from the old school days. But it was really when I was in college. I Don't Flop particularly came on my radar through the Lunar Sea battles and Pamphlet and these kind of guys who were active back then. I used to watch the O'Shea, but I was a very casual fan of it. I didn't really have that awareness of the wider scene of it. But when the Mark Gris Blizzard battle, which was their first battle to go viral, happened, so not only did I see it, but a lot of people I knew saw it. So there was a conversation about battle rap happening in my immediate vicinity outside of just me and my YouTube playlist or whatever. I then had a bit of a bigger awareness about it. I even then started discovering the Tony D's and the Shotties and the punchline rappers, which is more my thing anyway. And at the time I was starting out, I was rapping or spitting bars around the playground, whatever it is. So I liked punchlines, and the friends I spoke to and the music we listened to, I mean, we like that kind of music. So it just gave me that that reason to kind of dig a little bit deeper. So in terms of getting into battle rap, not in terms of doing it, that was really the origins. I was less aware of what was happening in the States. I was just following the UK scene, and I really liked it.
Nice. Yeah, I was similar, to be honest, man. I like the first battle that I ever saw that made me aware of battle rap was O'Shea versus Lego. So like very early Don't Flop days. I'd missed all the grind time and WRC stuff and that, and then I think it took me about a year to find out about like King of the Dot and Smack and stuff like that. I was literally just
Yeah,
never really going down a rabbit hole and just watching whatever Don't Flop uploaded after that point. But then,
for sure. I think I discovered those sort of things through the battles, people referencing them, referencing names of people and leagues, and I was like, "Oh, you battled on King of the Dot," so I'd go, "Oh, right, I'll watch Kruger's battle on King of the Dot," and then you see what's happening over there, and I think, yeah, like you said, there just wasn't that rabbit hole effect. I had battles that I liked. I wasn't super into it. I wasn't religiously into it. It was just another thing I watched. So when I wanted to watch a battle, I could always put on a shoddy horror battle that I'd already seen or whatever it is. Because I wasn't watching a lot of them. So no, I had similar sort of experience with being really into the UK scene. And yeah, like I said, I just found it amazing. You had the joke rappers, you had the bar rappers. I always say that era of battle rap, especially those guys coming through before it became viral, so they weren't incentivized by money or viral views. They were kind of doing it for the sport. There's an originality element that existed then. Everybody seemed to have a distinct style because there wasn't a style to emulate, bar some people being kind of influenced by his disasters or whoever it is. But because they're from the UK, it wasn't coming across that way.
no, I completely agree, man. And for me, that's exactly. You see a lot of people saying, how do we get battle rap back to how it was in like 2012 or whatever? And the simple answer is you can't do that anymore. Like the the reason it took off so much back then was because everybody was original. Nobody had seen anything like it before. Whereas now I think it's only for it. battle rap is for fans of battle rap in that sense, in that it's not going to be accessible to new people anymore, because new people will have seen it with Lunacy and Mark Grist and Blizzard and whoever else that went viral. It's not new and exciting to anybody anymore. Everybody knows that it exists now. And
yeah, there's got to be a starting point. There's got to be a natural way in for people. And I think, you want to get someone into battle rap, the first battle you show them isn't going to be Soul versus C Major. You're going to show them an O'Shea battle or a Lunacy. It's not because they're not as good or their lyrics aren't as dense, because I think they're both fantastic writers as well. But it's joke heavy, it's silly, it's playful, and people like that shit. That is what gets me into other genres when I first watch it. If it can make me laugh and make me smile and make me feel like entertained, and that the people that entertaining me are having a good time, that's always really important. And I think you need to grow your tastes in battle rap. It's something that's an acquired taste in a way. The way you take in bars, the way you seek out and expect wordplay or double meanings or punchlines and rhyme patterns, things that a fan early on might not be aware of. I mean, the same like anything. You get into UFC, you might watch a McGregor fight and see a few knockouts, and then, or boxing, whatever it is, and then you start learning a bit more about the technique and the technicality of what's happening and the stances and the fighting styles and all those elements, and you really appreciate it, and it doesn't detract from your enjoyment of it. It kind of adds to it, and I think that's what battle rap needs to be. So yeah, like you say, it's never going to be 2012. It's a different time. It's a different atmosphere in terms of just the public, what they're into, and where we're at now. It just needs to become. There just needs to be more access points again, and I think it's cool to see that happening at the moment.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I genuinely think this, this strange time that we're going through at the moment, I think it could be really, really beneficial for battle rap as a whole. Like, the amount of people that are getting involved in little online tournaments and like sending for each other again and stuff. I think not having events regularly available to us for a few months could actually be a really good thing, and I think the events will be a massive success as soon as all this is over, hopefully. But in terms of yourself and like events that you attended, then what was the first event you ever went to? Did you go as a fan first, or did you just jump straight into battling?
You know, it's funny, I was asked this in an interview the other day, and I always have to like double think about it. And I think one of it is the first event I attended was a Christmas party event at the end of 2014.
Okay.
At the legendary Fiddler's Elbow. So again, I'd seen a lot of battles at that venue. So that was quite surreal. But I met some of the Don't Flop staff when I was doing a gig in London. So I was doing a performance, just a spoken word performance at a poetry event. And that Harry Baker was performing there, and he'd already done some battles, and I met him at uni, and he was, one of the people kicking me up the arse saying, "Oh, you'd be good at battle rap. You should do it," and like, trying to convince me to do it. And I was reluctant for a while, but I warmed to it. I warmed to the idea, and I wanted to go to some events anyway. But because I saw the staff there and had a chat, and then after I'd spoken to them, because I spoke to them at the interview, whatever, they saw my performance, and afterwards Rowan came up to me, who's the owner, and he was just like, do a tryout. Your style would work well for battle rap. And literally, man, 2 months later, I did a tryout. That's what happened. But I attended Christmas party event. Then there was another like training day event. And the next training day event after that's when I did my tryout. So I started going to events pretty much at the same time that I started performing at them. And again, when I was starting getting into battle rap, when you think back to those sort of college days, it was never an idea. Even though I knew they were happening in London, I could see that. I listened to the intros of the battle. I knew where they were. It was never an idea like, I might go to an event. I was quite happy to watch them online. I didn't feel like I needed to go. But when I wanted to battle, then it became important that I went there and soaked up the atmosphere. So I watched some of the tryouts, and then go, I could do better than that, and kind of gas myself and motivate myself, and then know what it's like really to be in the room. Even the first time you watch a battle and you see the 3, 2, 1, and then the host start talking and you're there, not on the other side of YouTube, but in the room. It's a super surreal moment. But that's when I started going to events, so much later down the line.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. And so you're obviously based in Bristol at the moment, but you are from London, is that right?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Southwest London, man. I've lived in Bristol for a few years now. I came here to study originally at Bristol Uni. So I had a bit of time back in London in between, but generally I've moved here ever since.
And do you prefer Bristol then?
Yeah, at the moment, like for the foreseeable future at least, I prefer Bristol. It's still got all the city aspects and the social aspects I love about London. It's got a great art scene. It's super politically where I want to be as just a political landscape. People are quite kind and switched on, and I find it there's 4 Labour seats out of 4 in Bristol. It seems like a nice little hub. For those reasons, like I say, the arts and entertainment and music scene, it's a really wonderful place for all of that. I just got lots of great friends here, and I like where I live. London, I love London. It's my home, really. I'm a Londoner, but it's a lot. It's a lot sometimes. There's a lot going on. I don't really like getting the tube. I don't like spending too much time out in London, and it's just busy and everyone's in a rush. So there's benefits to both, of course, but at the moment, man, it's Bristol for me.
Yeah, no, I can understand that, man. And like, I love London, but I love visiting London. I tried to live there when I was younger for it probably lasted less than 2 months, to be honest. Like it's a bit too hectic for me. But Bristol's probably my favourite city in the UK, just in terms of
Amazing.
like I'm from Hereford, so not too far away, and then I'm living in Cardiff at the moment, so again it's only about 40 minutes up the
Nice.
road. And
Yeah, I like it, man. I was doing like a poetry rap workshop sort of in a school around there. I went to Cardiff and Newport, did a couple things there, and I really liked it in both places actually. I think it's awesome there.
yeah,
It's nice, one of my favourite cities that are closer to Bristol.
yeah, Cardiff's all right, man, but Bristol for me is just I love the graffiti scene and stuff. So Bristol's
Yeah,
kind
man.
of like the hub in the UK in that front, and like
It's
got
so
a
wild, man.
huge hip hop scene in Bristol as well.
Yeah, and they kind of because I guess when you look back at the roots of hip hop and where it came from, that is graffiti and music and breakdance. They're all part of the same similar culture or the same culture really anyway. And I think just as an underground art scene, like you go around Stokescroft in Bristol or sort of St Andrews, Montpellier. There's loads of graffiti and murals going up on the walls. Like one went up really recently, like a massive thank you to the NHS mural, and it's epic. And there's so much art happening like that. And you go through Stokescroft and you get the original Banksy's just up there protected for everyone's viewing. Yeah, there's so much going on, man. Like it's a great city, and I'd encourage anybody to visit.
Definitely.
And come to the battle rap events here, because battle rap in Bristol is popping off, man.
Oh man, like I remember after the recent event, I tweeted something just saying that Bristol is the ultimate city in the UK for battle rap, because like I go to a lot of events. Like I probably go every 3 months or so at least, but Bristol was. I've been to a couple of events in Bristol now, so all of the recent Don't Flop ones back since the event where Kinnell battled Zayn Azrai and Crash battled Tiger.
Yeah.
Like every event I go to in Bristol, the only people that I recognise at that event is the battlers that are on the card. Everybody else is kind of like new or just local fans that don't get to other events around the country and stuff. But the atmosphere there is perfect because you can tell that there's a lot of new faces there that are just really enjoying themselves.
It's great. Even the last event, like there were some big battles happening, but 60% of the crowd, they'd never been to a battle rap event before, so it had that mix. I mean, that doesn't mean like they're not cultured to battle rap, that they've watched it, and some of them haven't. But the way people are reacting to bars, the way people are sort of energetic and enthusiastic about the event, in ways that sometimes in other cities that have been spoiled over the years and are very, very cultured, aren't as willing to react or to show emotion or to physically have outbursts that suggest they're having fun, whatever kind of reaction that is, cheering, clapping for bars. People just seem really on board with it. I like that. I think when I'm in a crowd at any battle rap event, I'm always trying to react and, show the battlers that kind of love. And I think when you have that mix of seasoned fans and people who really know battle rap and the casuals all in one room, they kind of inform each other. The casuals kind of will remind the seasoned fans, oh, this is this kind of event, where we're all having fun. And the sort of seasoned fans can dictate some reaction where there might not be reaction. Maybe that's overthinking it, but that seems to be how it goes. I think there's just wonderful moments. Agree. It's really, and people like even Zayn Azrais, who were really active back in the heyday of UK battle rap, he's saying, after the event, he was saying this feels like the old days. This feels like how events felt, and I think that's nice because I never got to go to events in 2012. I was in college or whatever. I wasn't going to them, and so it feels nice to kind of maybe live a bit of that, relive a little bit of that without having originally vicariously through the eyes of somebody who was there at that time. So Bristol's a great city for battle rap. I think the way events are promoted and sold to the general public generally they should be targeted more at new fans. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I completely agree, man. And I don't really know how successful the events were as a whole, but for example, I loved was it called the Uni Bruv tour or something like that Don't Flop did, where they would just go into university cities that hadn't really been tapped into.
Well, that was part of that. I went to about 3 out of 6 of them. I went to a few different cities.
Yeah, you and Lazy, right?
Yeah, we just basically spat the same bars in a few different cities to different people. But I mean, we were freestyling different stuff, and I was freestyling a lot of the events anyway. Lazy had a couple flips here and there, so it was a little bit different. But it was like you say, it was just casual fans really.
Yeah, I bet you two are sick of the sight of each other now. In that sense.
It was cool, man. I feel like I really got to see him grow as a battler during that tour, because I've always been a fan of Lazy Ass Jack. I think he's really creative, and I think he's kind of got this kind of natural swagger that he doesn't really use enough, like just the height advantage and the way he just is so condescending when he wants to be. And I think we just had a lot of chats about it, and we've even given each other feedback. The next event, just perform that bar more. Just fucking, I was saying to him, walk around me, you're twice the height of me. Just undermine me as much as you can. And when I saw him a few months later battle big stage at Premier Battle and absolutely kill it and have one of the performances of the nights, by doing all that stuff, he was just confident and swagging. And just gave his best performance I've ever seen from him. So it was actually cool that we had that room to experiment with the same material and be able to go, actually, if you do it a little bit differently, you can get more out of the exact same bars. So I think it's an interesting format, doing the same battle multiple times, being in that battle rap is inherently the most difficult art form because it's something that takes a long time and a lot of effort to write well and to a good standard, to rehearse well to a good standard, and that you only get one chance to perform it, and that's it. So that brought battle rap out of that context a little bit, and there was a bit more suspended disbelief there because we knew what we were going to say to each other, but we were still delivering a performance as if it were a one-off thing. So it was a very interesting tour. And Impact battled Lefty and Mickey battled Bowski. So they were all fun clashes. We were all kind of going for jokes most of the time.
Of course, no, it's an interesting experiment. I like seeing any battle league come up with ideas like that. I just think it's, however you can get new fans involved is always a positive. But in terms of yourself now, so in terms of like battles that you have online at the moment, so you've got 19 up according to Verse Tracker.
Oh wow.
Obviously with the Unibrev tour and things like that, there's been more than that. But for you, what is your personal favourite battle that you've been a part of so far?
Yeah, it's I mean, my favourite battle I've been a part of is the title match with Unanimous. That was thrilling. You know, that it was just a moment I've been working up towards for a long time, and it felt great in the room. It felt like a great clash, and especially the first round when it was really us going toe to toe. It was like a war, and going into that second round, I just had a lot of adrenaline. Like, right, I need to keep going. I need to absolutely smash this because I'm going to beat him. And it was that battle, probably my favorite to be a part of, just because it was a culmination of what I've been working towards. But I really enjoyed like the Liv Winter one, my first ever main channel battle.
Yeah.
Because again, it was okay. I'd done a tryout, but that was my first proper battle with over 3 rounds, and again, it went better than I thought it would. Like, I wasn't sure if I was going to be any good at battle rap at all. So that was really enjoyable because it was a small room, so you really spoke to everyone in the room as well. It was a real camaraderie there. It was a lot of the battlers and sort of super fans, you know, people who had been at the Lunacy event and applied to go to day 2. So that was really enjoyable as well. Yeah, the best battles to be a part of are the ones that were enjoyable. You know, not the one where there was anything too personal going into it, or battle I didn't really want to do. My heart wasn't in it. Like but I really liked the Quill one as well. That one I did before, the Yunnan one, in Bristol. So yeah, it's a tough question. I think when people ask you about your favorite battle or round or bar, there's always a few that come to mind.
Definitely, man. And yeah, just in terms of the Yunnan battle, so have you had any kind of news on when that's going to be uploaded yet?
I have no idea, man. I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm just a battler.
Yeah.
I think it will be uploaded soon. Like, it's been a little while. Well, just over a month now. So usually, 6 to 8 weeks is a reasonable turnaround for like an upload and an edit. Against the schedule that's already existing. So yeah, hopefully that won't be too far away now. Maybe someone listening to this might be able to watch it. I don't know.
Definitely. Mate, like, as I said, I was there on the day, and
oh, amazing. Yeah,
phenomenal performance, man. Like, really strong performance.
Thank you, man.
I'll be completely honest. I came because Yunnan had the 2 title matches lined up for Don't Flop and Premier Battles. I will admit to you now, and I owe you an apology, I did think Yunnan was going to edge you in that battle, but
you were... I have to apologise for that. I think he was a strong favourite, and rightly so. He's got a huge legacy. He's battled some of the biggest names in the world. You could say the Yunnan beat Disaster, so I'm not going to ever be mad at somebody saying I'm the underdog in that battle. That's okay.
But mate, phenomenal performance, and like, even with, like you said, the first round was very neck and neck. I had you edging the first round, and Yunnan had a bit of a stumble in the second. I kind of knew it was game over from there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was a great performance, man. Like, definitely, I feel that was the best performance we've seen from you as well. So I'm excited for that to drop, man, and more people to see the battle.
That's very kind. That's much appreciated. I hope enough people feel the same way, at least when they see it. That's Yeah, that means a lot. Thank you, man.
No worries at all, man. And like, I've been a big fan of yourself for a long time. I mean, the Heretic battle, I thought you were, I think you were robbed a bit, to be honest. I thought you were far better than Heretic at that battle. I was at the event as well and remember thinking that Heretic was funny at points, but I didn't enjoy his stuff that much. But yeah, the growth that you've shown, kind of from the beginning, because so your tryout was Ambi, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
I don't think it's online anymore. I did try to rewatch it the other day, and I
tell you
couldn't
what,
find it.
It was Don't Flop Extra accidentally got deleted as a channel, and it was on that channel. So I re-uploaded it to my channel. So if you type in Crafty vs Ambi, I've just uploaded it as like my tryout battle, Crafty vs Ambi, just so people can still watch it if they want to. But I mean, it had, for a tryout, and on the Don't Flop Extra channel, it had over 10,000 views, so it did really well considering that was our first one. So it's a bit annoying that it's now on like a few hundred, but it's still there to watch in all its glory. Because of the way the internet is, I do download all my battles. I back them up just in case things like that happen. So I was able, luckily, to re-upload it.
It's a good call, man. No, it's definitely worth doing. Like, we don't know how long YouTube's gonna last at the end of the day, do we? So I'd definitely consider doing the same thing. But
that's it. Just keep them on a hard drive somewhere.
like, for me, something that I wanted to touch on as well is like, did you feel that you were maybe getting a bit of an unfair run-in at points with Don't Flop? Because like, obviously you did, I think it was like 2 or 3 battles, and then got quite a big opportunity in terms of the Jay Short battle at Sunburn.
Yeah, it was huge at the time. Yeah,
you won convincingly, in my opinion, as well. That was another phenomenal performance. And
thanks, man. Yeah,
to then,
I got the judge's decision, on that one, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, man. And to have then kind of been, you were given like Conquer B off the back of that, and then Sean O'Mac came not long after, and like, I'm a fan of both of those guys, don't get me wrong, but at the time, Sean O'Mac hadn't been around for a long time. His name didn't hold much weight, and I think Conquer B was, he was kind of stumbling and choking a lot at that point. Do you feel like you should have got bigger opponents off the bat, kind of thing? Because like, obviously your first international as well was XQZ, is that right?
Yeah.
And that was, I was there for that as well, and it was a very, very strange atmosphere in that room at the event. But I personally, I felt like, obviously Heretic got much bigger battles straight off the bat, whereas you kind of had to continue to work for them. Was that frustrating at the time?
Yeah, I think it was. It was very frustrating at the time. And looking back, there's probably more self-blame I can take that I didn't at the time, or I wasn't able to see, being a young up-and-comer. One of them being, you don't have to take every battle you're offered, which I wasn't doing at the time. I was just taking these battles. Whereas being a bit more selective and keeping myself a bit more in demand probably would have kept my stock a bit higher. And that's something I've encouraged other up-and-comer rappers I've mentored a little bit, and at least chatted to say, yo, just hold up, sit on what you've done, like keep the hype there. But also, there were elements that I needed to improve on that I like to think I have improved on now, that I've been able to assess those battles and look at what it was that I wasn't doing. Even though I was winning every battle, that's not the be all and end all. There's other factors. So I think to a degree, I probably could have been given that opportunity. I think if I'd been thrown against big opponents, that would have propelled my growth a little faster and my ability to step up, because I wasn't feeling like I needed to step up and give it my all because I felt I was winning my battles really easily. So I think there is some self-blame there. And I think, yeah, I could have done. I didn't want to battle Heretic. That's a good example. My heart was not in that battle. I told him numerous times before, I don't want to do this battle. I don't really have much to say to you. Like it just doesn't. It feels forced. It feels like we're both up and comers at the same time. So let's put them against each other on a big stage. But it wasn't a battle that was for the big stage at that point in time. So it ended up being one of the most debated and controversial battles. Whatever way you think that went, I mean, it was neither of our best performance. But yeah, like you said, I guess Heretic after that battle got Shuffle T and I got Sean O'Mac. So yeah, maybe there is a bit of a unfair discrepancy there, but you gotta learn, and you gotta play your own game. And a good example is that after I did the Raptor battle for Chalked Out, which I hate, I wish that wasn't on the internet. It's a rubbish battle. My opponent's not even rapping, and I'm probably quite affected by the atmosphere, so I'm not performing as well as I could. And I was done with it after that. I was like, I'm not battle rapping again. This is why do I need to battle rap? What is in it for me? But then you step away and you think about it, and I was getting loads of offers all the time. I was getting opponents thrown at me, and I was actually saying, these are the opponents I want, so I'm not battling unless it's these people. And as soon as you do that, they might not give you the battle, and you might never battle again, or they'll give you the battle. So then the next two I got offered were Matter and Quill, who I really rate. And I was like, yeah, I want to battle Matter and Quill because beating them will mean something, and people will care that I beat them. So I did those two, and then Red Flag. Again, he's a lot of people say I 2-1 him. Won the battle, and he's one of the best in the States at the moment, in my opinion. He's fantastic, and when you take those three in the space of a year, that's what propels you to a title shot.
Definitely,
that's playing. That's what I mean about learning and playing your own game. Yeah, I probably harbored a lot of sourness at the time about it, which didn't help. I wasn't necessarily being proactive. I was just kind of sitting and going, oh, well, that person's getting this and I'm not. Well, you've got to go and make your own journey and your own narrative. And I think when I learned to do that, I realized I probably could have done that right from the start. So that's what I mean about, the staff maybe could have given me a bit more than they were, but also I could have done a bit better on my behalf as well. I think it's important to kind of take those lessons in as well. And that's something I'd want other rappers coming into it, not to get disheartened by, to keep doing their thing and to believe in themselves and their ability and keep trying to improve and to kind of curate your own journey. Don't watch what other people are doing or worry what other people think of you. That's important.
Definitely. No, I like it, man. And to be honest, the next question that I normally ask is, what's your least favourite battle that you've been a part of? I was going to leave that out because,
debatable. No, yeah. Just that one I just mentioned, Raptor. Yeah.
I was having this discussion the other day, man. Like, I am a big Raptor fan. Always have been. But
He's incredible. Yeah.
There's just these occasional performances where, for example, again, I was there for your battle with Raptor, and for me getting to London from Cardiff for a battle event, all in all, with travel, tickets, spending money on the day, getting across London, all that kind of stuff, it cost me pretty much, I'm guaranteed to spend over 100 quid all in all getting to events.
Yeah.
Raptor gets a lot of stick from fans, which I think is unjust because a lot of the fans that give him stick I don't think go to events. But
yeah,
I feel like I have the right to complain as much as I want about spending 100 quid to turn up and watch him do that. Do you know what I mean? And it's, people say that fans need to keep their opinions to themselves more, but when
the fans hold the opinion and hold the key, and that will never change. That will
No,
never change.
exactly, man. And like I said, spending that amount of money and spending 6 or 7 hours or whatever on a coach that day to go and watch that performance, it's just like he's come down from Manchester for that event as well. Like, what? Why would you waste your time? Do you know what I mean? It just
Yeah, I don't want to get too into it because I've kind of I've shot on this and on other podcasts and stuff, and like you say, I'm a fan of Raptor as well, and that's 2-3 years ago now, and I don't want to hold that against him or harbor a grudge over it. It was annoying at the time. It was very, again, trying to, for my own progress, he took the battle because he wanted to help push me. He even said that in inboxes and stuff. He said, you're one of my favorite writers. Like, let's make a classic. This is going to be the Tony D Raptor. Like, let's do it. So it was disappointing, man. It was disappointing. Yeah, I was really disappointed with the way the fans reacted to it. But again, that's a mistake. You got to let people have their opinions. And mind you, that was on one forum, I guess. People on YouTube and other places always think differently. But yeah, I think that the important thing after that was to bounce back. And I think I was going to go straight into another battle, actually with Villain. And again, I really like Villain. He's a great battler and a great human, really. I didn't have a lot of reason to battle him. And as soon as a flyer dropped, I messaged Ambi and I was like, I don't want to do this battle. It's not, my head's not in it. And I think that's the learning curve. 2015 me would have done that battle straight after. And I took the time away. I was really busy with other things anyway in life, so it made sense. But by the time in 2019, I started battling again, my head was in it. I knew what to do. I knew how to perform. I knew what I wanted to get out of it. I didn't think that would be a title shot, but that was a nice bonus.
definitely. And yeah, man. I mean, it shows as well. I mean, in that time, you've now taken Matter, Quill, and Red Flag. You beat Quill pretty handsomely, in my opinion, as well. I don't think Quill was all that great in that battle. The Matter battle is brilliant on both sides, and same with the Red Flag battle, man. Like, how did the Red Flag battle come about? Like, just the fact that we're seeing Red Flag and Frankie Waps and people like that in Shrewsbury of all places. It's just a bit random.
Again, I think that was a little experiment. I think they'd done an event in Shrewsbury that was all new fans and all people really excited to have Don't Flop in their city, and they just thought, let's put some good battles in front of them and see what happens. It was an interesting event. It was a really good vibe. Everyone had a lot of fun at the event and after the event. We were all hanging out as well, so everyone there was really safe. And Frankie Waps, real stand-up guy as well. He was really nice. And yeah, Red Flag, it was just a good mix of people and a good mix of battlers who are motivated to battle each other. So that always lends itself well. I think Red Flag could just come over to battle Raptor, and actually my battle with him had been confirmed before his Raptor battle, so that was going to be his first ever appearance in the UK when he got booked against me. But when the shenanigans of Apex happened, of Tay-Rock and all those other clowns, how they treated Shotty and Briggsy, they put a call out, and Red Flag was one of the battlers they brought in last minute. So he'd already confirmed my battle when he then, on a week's notice, came to battle Raptor a few weeks before mine, because 6-7 weeks ahead of my clash we'd confirmed it. So the way it all came about was them just wanting to try using Shrewsbury as a very neutral, very casual, fan oriented home for this event. And I think fair play to them. Kinnell versus Waps was a really good battle as well. Like I said, it was a no-brainer to say yes to Red Flag. He's not the biggest name at the moment, but I think he will be. And it's cool to get somebody just when they're hot, when they're motivated, when they're putting out all their effort in. You know, sometimes you get some of the legends of the US scene. You might battle them and they'll half-ass it. So yeah, Red Flag. He was a great guy, and like I say, he's a fantastic battler. So I really enjoyed that clash as well. And might be a little bit biased here, but I think I might have won. So it was a good day.
For me, it's one of those battles that I think I've watched it 3 times now, maybe, because it's one of the best battles released last year. Anyway, we'll put it that way. But I think I've changed my opinion each time I've watched it, which
that's the best type of battle.
Absolutely,
for sure,
yeah.
For sure, yeah.
And yeah, I'm a big Red Flag fan as well. So YouTube definitely made sense. It was good to see, but yeah, I mean, it just a bit random that these events are happening in Shrewsbury to me, really. But it looked good. The crowd looked lively and stuff, so I can't fault it. But
it was good, man. Like it was. I don't really have much else to say about it. I guess it was a good event. I think it was a really good battle, and shout out to Red Flag and shout out to Sean Crate, who organised the Shrewsbury event and is part of the Don't Flop team. He really looked after us and put on a good show.
Definitely, man. I think I'm just a bit too much of a proud Herefordian that hates Shrewsbury, but we'll always have that rivalry, I think. But no, and like for you, then you've been to a ton of events now, but what for you is the best battle that you've seen live?
Soul vs C Major.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah,
it's not come up yet before, and this is, I think, the 41st episode I've done now, and that's the first time that's been mentioned. So,
okay,
pretty unbelievable, really. But
that's probably my top 3 battles ever. I think it's the best UK versus UK battle ever, and I think it's a lot closer than people say it was as well.
Yes, I do agree.
Different approaches, but both excellent. I mean, for a showcase of just lyricism, and what sort of poetry and lyricism and just incredible layered writing is contained within battle rap. I think that's a shining light of that.
Definitely, and I think
I went to I'm sure I can say this. When I was at Soul's house in Fife, when I was randomly on a trip to Scotland, he had this fantastic fan art painting of the face off of those two in that battle. I remember saying to him at the time, "That's my favorite battle. That's a great painting of a great moment when they're both just like going into a war, essentially." I think it's iconic. I think there's certain battles that are defining moments in UK battle rap.
100%.
Narrative that you can look back on, and that people could academically do write-ups about these moments as well as the writing itself, and I think that's one of them. Yeah, I think that's just for a lot of reasons. I think that the event and the crowd and the stage and the way it was filmed, that's my favorite battle.
No, I do agree, man. And like the whole, I think it's Soul's, I want to say it's his second round where he ends it like a short scheme with like, you've got 2 I's that you can't use and 2 S's you can't say, or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's I was talking to a friend about this the other day. And we were saying that could be the best punchline in UK battle rap history.
I think so.
It's so powerful. Yeah, shout out to Soul, man. Like I say, what a really nice guy he is. Always enjoy hanging out with him, but just also like I'm a massive fan of his writing and the way he thinks and the way he paints these kind of otherworldly, transcendent images with what he's saying and how he's saying it. And there's a few rappers that I'd attribute that quality to. There's a lot of rappers I'd say I love their writing and their bars, but that particular quality I think he's got. And also C Major, again, same thing, really sound bloke and fucking awesome rapper and makes awesome music. So yeah, there's something about those two showing off, should I say, that is almost spitting a Shorty Horror slogan right now. Something about them two facing off that's like kind of epic. It was just an epic moment, man.
Yeah, agreed, man. And if I'm honest, I was half expecting you to say Sol versus Ilmac just because you're front row for that battle.
Oh my god, I was so drunk. I'm not embarrassed by it, but like I find it hilarious because I'm like in the front row loving it. And then when Matt started in our battle saying, "Oh, you're in the front row of a Soul battle, we're loving it," I was like, "Yeah, but you can't see that the camera moves for Ilmac's round, and I'm doing the exact same for Ilmac's round." I was just that was a super fan moment, man. Like
Yeah.
But yeah, I was down for Manchester for the day. I was many pints in at that point when that battle started. That was the main event.
That's fair enough, man. That's what events are for at the end of the day. It's to have a good time, innit? But
Hey, I'd rather be remembered for drunkenly reacting and gassing my favourite rappers in the front row of a battle than for standing there clapping my chest pretending I'm too good for all of it. So,
very true. No, I like it. But what would you say, for the most part, is the three standout bars that have ever been said against you? Like, have you ever had any moments where you've not expected something and it's taken you by surprise? Or
I'll just try and think of the first ones that come to mind because I think that's probably quite telling. I really liked Conquer B's one where, and I don't think I'm a bad bar writer. I don't think I write bad bars, but there's been a couple stinkers over the years as concepts. And one of them, I Live Winter Battle, right? Make some tenuous link about our birthdays and 9/11 and Twin Towers. And I can't remember exactly what he says, but he says something about how I worded it, about it being a builder's nightmare or something like that. And he has a bar. He flips that.
yeah, I do remember that.
He was like, loads of loved ones being killed, and he's just there like, oh, that would be a cunt to rebuild.
Yeah.
And how he delivered it, yeah, I felt proper mugged off. That was a really good bar. And just the ones that mug you off, like Frankie had the bar about you only talk to girls who like Loki and Akala. And again, it doesn't, when I say it now, it doesn't sound like a room shaker, but the way he delivered it and set it up and swagged like the delivery. So let's go with those two off the bat because they come to my head straight away. And I like people can make fun of you. That's battle rap should be a part of battle rap should be making fun of your opponent. So yeah, when people do it to me well, I appreciate that. And let me think of maybe my recent ones. Again, the matter one, I had loads of my favorite punchlines, but kind of the audience wasn't really right for that particular battle. But I love the Onomatopoeia one I had against him. Okay, and my third one I'll go for. Again, it's all these battles in my head now, all coming blending into one. I'll go for the unanimous one, where he kind of, I can't remember exactly, and that was not dropped on YouTube, so I'm going purely from memory in the moment. But he had this whole scheme where he built up to me doing a bar about dragons in one of my battles, and like him being the dragon rapper, and like so he had this whole build up about it, and then he went, "You rhymed it with this, Catalan Stark, Azerbaijan," and he went, "Bruv, that even rhymes with unanimous bars." And the way he built to that moment was, in a way, only unanimous could do it. So I'll go with that one for my third one.
No, I like that, man.
What am I talking about? Am I thinking about my favorite bars or their favorite bars? It's not their favorite bars, right?
Yeah, they're the favorite
so
bars.
I've given you three. I gave you a couple. I said a couple of my favorites that I've said to opponents, but those are the three that I think I've said three about me as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and the matter bar that you mentioned, the Onomatopoeia bar was incredible, man, and it's
but I wasn't meant to say my bar from that battle. That was my favorite bar from that battle, but I was meant to say my favorite of his from that battle, which was again, it was something that really made me sound silly. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, rewatch that because his round's really funny.
Yeah, it's a great battle, and the Onomatopoeia bar though, man, like you've had some great football bars down the years, and
do you love a football bar, mate?
Yeah, and it surprises me a bit, Kraft, because it must be a bit of a struggle keeping up with football, especially being a Palace fan. It must be difficult to watch at times.
I love being a Palace fan, man.
Yeah.
I think the ups and downs are thrilling. Like I'm just so happy we've been in the Premier League for a few years. That's huge. That's huge. So I'm enjoying every minute of being in the Premier League, no matter if we're getting spanked or if we're beating City away.
No, that's fair enough, man. Yeah, no, I'm a Liverpool fan myself, but definitely appreciated Palace last year after beating City. But
yeah, man, I still remember the 3-3 against Liverpool. That was great, man. That was a great game.
Yeah, I kind of asked for that, I suppose, didn't I? But Dwight Gale scoring of all people as well, if I remember rightly, which is
he had a lot of potential, man. It's a shame. I really like. He's my kind of player, Dwight Gale. I think he's had a bit of rotten luck in the Premier League. He's a fantastic striker. You lot felt the full brunt of that. Oh mate, just Suarez leaving the pitch crying and Brendan Rodgers' face when the third went in. That could go on my wall. I could put a poster of that up, and I'd enjoy it. Nothing against Liverpool, just it was a great moment for us.
Yeah. No, I asked for that, I suppose, but we'll move on.
You've got Premier League and Champions League and all that now, so you know.
Have we got a Premier League though, mate? I don't know what's going on.
They're not. Oh yeah, 100%. I generally Liverpool fans annoy me, so I have a reason to not like Liverpool as a club. But I really like Klopp's team. I really like what's happening with them. And I think just the idea that you could not give them the title is ludicrous. They deserved it last year. They've been the best this year, and I'd rather see a shorter season next year and then finish this season, because that would be fairer. So I'm sure they'll do the right thing. The Premier League, I wouldn't worry about that.
I hope so, man. But it's also, you know, if they do cut this season short and just hand us the title, I know that I just can't handle the stick from the United fans, to be honest with you. But
win it again next year. That's what we're doing. Probably won't last. So.
That's true. Yeah, I think next season will be very difficult, though. I think all City really need to do is sign a solid centre back, maybe a midfielder,
probably a back four, mate. To be honest, so I think they need a little bit of work. But
I think City are all right if they're one, maybe two signings, and I think they're back to the level that they were again. Personally, but
I think that about a few teams, though. I think it's about assembling the right team at the right moment. What Klopp's managing to do is get the best out of players who aren't world beaters and make them world beaters or look like world beaters in that system. He's assembled a sort of a substitutes bench that's fully effective. There's so many factors. You look at some teams' squad depth and how that affects them later in seasons. And I think I'd still bet my money on Liverpool for the next year or two to be on top until this kind of era passes over of these players at this particular point in time. But if they all stick together and stay at the club, you tend, especially with a great manager, the team tends to improve. It tends to not decline until some of them have aged or moved on or whatever it is or got injured. So, like I said, I don't have any reason to be an admirer of Liverpool, but I have no choice at the moment.
No, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. And yeah, we don't get props from fans of other clubs very often, so I'll take that. But
yeah, football gets very unnecessarily territorial to the point where people lie about things. You can't just say your team's not good or doesn't deserve it because you don't like that team. I think, you've got the level of like sort of being sensible has to be there as well.
Yeah, man. And like for example, the other day, one of my old work friends tried to tell me that, and he was adamant that this was correct as well, tried to tell me that Scott McTominay's had a better season than Jordan Henderson. And I nearly lost my head.
I don't really massively like Henderson. I think he's decent, but in that system, no one can argue that he's absolutely bossing it at the moment.
Oh, 100%.
But I used to have it's Liverpool, Manchester United fans are the height of delusion in football, and it's driven by hatred. I used to have a barber who was just a Liverpool fan. Every time I went in, they signed a new player, and he told me they're going to be the best player in the world. I was like, yeah, Markovic is going to be the best player, he's going to be the best player. We're going to win the title this season. It's amazing. Brendan Rodgers is doing a great job, or whatever. He's got the last laugh now, but I used to be like, all Liverpool fans just. It's wild to me. It's wild, but Man United do the same now. I'll tell you that certain players are the best in the world. And I'm looking at you going, bro, like, you've just played 2 matches in a row and haven't created a chance. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But there you go. That's why it's better to support a small team, man. You can kind of just objectively look at what's going on above you and just enjoy it.
No, that's fair enough, mate.
I had to stop playing fantasy football early on in my life because it was making me support teams that I didn't want to win. So I just stopped playing
it. Fair. No, I like it. But no, I do agree. And I'm a Liverpool fan, and I'll say it myself. Most Liverpool fans, they are fucking unbearable. So I do completely understand why people hate us. But yeah, man.
So what they do against the Sun and all that, though, I have a lot of respect for them at the same time. So it's all love and hate, isn't it?
Yeah, no, of course. But do you, I mean, Palace haven't had a bad year this year, really. I think they've, I think in terms of Palace's squad as a whole, I do think they're kind of automatic relegation favourites for me at the start of the season. But I think they've done very well again this year, and
it's about gelling at the right time. I understand why we're always put at the bottom, but again, when you watch a team week in, week out, people don't realise how good players like James McArthur are at football. Like, the guy's a fucking baller. We've got a few
he is very good, yeah.
They'll never even talked about him match of the day. Jordan Ayew, he doesn't score a lot of goals. He scored quite a few this season, actually, but he's not a striker necessarily, but he is an absolutely amazing footballer. He doesn't lose the ball. He's got a pass. He's got a work rate. So when you look at all these players on the pitch at the same time, I don't fear relegation like that. But yeah, we never make the right signings. We never buy that big striker who's going to score, 20, 25 goals. We've never had that really. We sold Wan-Bissaka. That was really upsetting because he was so young. He'd only been with us a year. I thought we'd have him for a couple more years, but yeah, he's fantastic. I think we're going to lose Zaha this summer. That's going to be the big one. Lose Zaha. You've got to bring in someone as good as him in order to stay up because he's the focal point. So it's our squad depth's never really been there. But also, Roy Hodgson, I've got a lot of time for Roy Hodgson. He's the kind of manager, he'll keep us where we are and he'll keep us stable, but he'll never take us to that next step.
No, I do agree.
That's telling for me. Like, even he doesn't make substitutions before the 85th minute and things like that. And some games you need to mix it up, and tactically he's a bit outdated. But in terms of the basics of football and what he gets out of players, he does a job. So we're kind of where we should be. We're mid-table. No, mid-table's above where we should be. We've been championship for years. A decade ago, we almost went into liquidation. We're about to be a club no more. We've had so many awful moments that we've come through. So that's what I mean. Like, when you support a team like that, I think it gives you that bit of perspective. I don't mind being the underdog. I don't mind finishing 17th every single year if it means we're a Premier League team. So when you're mid-table, that's and we get these big matches and these big moments every year. We'll beat City away or we'll beat Liverpool yeah, it's great. I'm not really fussed about a European run or winning a cup. Like, that would be nice, of course. I was heartbroken. I was at Wembley when we lost to Man United to that Lingard goal, because I don't even fucking rate Lingard, and he just scored a worldie. And it's but you're in an FA Cup final against Man United. So again, you always. I'd raise a kid to support a not good football team. I think you learn a lot of important life lessons about perspective and patience and all those kind of things.
Yeah, man. No, I can see what you mean, definitely. And yeah, I think if Zaha does go, then they've got to spend big, and I think potentially not even on just one position either, because I think Zaha he's an out and out winger, but his work through the middle of the park is pretty key to Palace as well. So
yeah, he just gets it. Like, it's so funny. Again, like, people who don't really understand football making these tweets about, Zaha only gets these many goals and assists. I'm like, right, like, I watch him every week. The danger he puts opponents under, the fact he gets marked by 3 players So the space that opens for other people, that he'll carry the ball from your half 60 yards and just get you up the pitch and buy you time. Statistics don't show any of those types of things. Like, the guy is irreplaceable. But I actually disagree a little bit. I think if we bought a few players, that's the kind of thing we always do. If we get a bit of money in, we'll buy 3 or 4 decent players. If we get 60, 70 million for him, I want a 60, 70 million player. That's what I'd like to see. Like, someone that incredible who's gonna fill that hole. But
Definitely.
That's tough to come by, because Palace aren't going to attract the Jadon Sanchos and these kind of players really when they can go to Man United. So yeah, that's why I'm a little bit skeptical about Zaha leaving. That could be our downfall, but hey, we'll see. I think that a great striker is what we need anyway. Just someone who's going to shore up, get those 15, 20 goals, get you over the line. That's it, really.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And we've kind of gone off topic onto football a bit there, to be fair, but fingers crossed Liverpool and Palace have successful seasons next year.
Let's hope.
Yeah, in terms of so one question that I've been asking people, which has brought up some interesting answers, like, if you could pick your next 5 battles, like, who do you really want? And for yourself, this is like
battles.
Title aside, so not necessarily people who've earned a title shot, just people that you personally would like to battle.
So this is a tough thing. I don't know if I want to do 5 rap battles anytime soon. I'd like to do Shock's a Rebel.
Yeah, and that was booked, right?
That was booked for next in line too. Yeah, that didn't happen. We both still want to do it. That battle will happen. So that's why I'm saying that one. I think that's pretty likely to happen, especially now that there's that extra bit of narrative about me having the title he vacated. It kind of creates that little bit of a bit more purpose for the battle. I'd quite like to battle Chilla Jones. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe in a small room. Yeah, maybe small room Chilla Jones. Again, thinking like to America. I rate Real Sick. If we're talking about like up and coming US battlers, I rate Real Sick. That would be like a much more just sort of punchline based battle, but yeah, he's fire. I don't know if I want to do that. Again, this is a hard question, but I think he's just one that comes to mind that I think would be a good battle. Maybe A Ward. Ward, yeah. Let's say A Ward. Maybe another UK battle. To tie it up with. Again, some of the battles that would have interested me a couple of years ago wouldn't as much now. I'm thinking. I like the challenges. I like the challenges. I like battling the best. There's a few people that are like amazing, but just something about me versus them that I don't think would bring out the best battle. Kind of like Soul versus Bender in a way. Like, no, that was like on paper just the battle you want to see, but it's just something about energy. Like, people when they go against each other, it was still a good battle, but it wasn't the classic that they've had in their respective other clashes. And I think maybe Gemini.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
no,
because
I like it.
People say he's undefeated. So I think there's a reason to do that battle. But yeah, no, Gem's fantastic, man. He's awesome. Maybe that one. Gemini or Respect BA. They both claim they're undefeated and are unbeatable and are the final boss of UK battle rap, so why not one of them? But yeah, maybe that's 5. But yeah, maybe Shocks and Chilla would be like the immediate ones that would probably be pretty cool.
No, I like that, man. Definitely.
I don't know. What do you think?
Definitely want to see the Shocks battle, and I've wanted to for a long time. So no, it's a good list. And The final battle rap related question, which has been causing a bit of like, most people have said this is by far the hardest question to answer.
Uh-oh.
But if you were a promoter with unlimited funds, and you were putting a battle card together I've been saying up to 10 battles to make it a bit easier, but you don't have to go with that many. But what battles do you really want to see, and who are you putting on that card?
And like, assuming these would definitely happen if I asked the people.
Yeah, so you've got unlimited funds essentially. So even if it was, say, fucking Murder Mook or something, like, you can afford to do it. So you can pick anyone that you want on your card.
Yeah, I'm going to be super obvious with the first one, which is Lunacy versus Shotty. I don't care what anyone says about their opinions on that. I think it would be the UK versus UK battle, undoubtedly.
Okay.
I'd be super, super, super excited to see how they approached it, who would win, how it would pan out. So I'd have to put that one up there. No doubt about it. I've got 9 battles, and I don't want to long out your podcast. I don't know. Let me think. All right. Okay. Let's go for versus Organic. That'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's not come up before yet.
Versus Organic. Disaster versus Soul.
Nice. Okay.
Harry Baker versus Carter Deems.
Yeah. Love that battle.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. Let's go for who are like my favorite battles. Let's go for like Pamphlet, just because that's interesting. And we'll put him against Conceited.
Okay.
Let's see what happens there. Wizard and Scissors versus Big J and Lefty.
Yes, okay. Love that.
That has to be on it. Yeah. That's like 5. It's trying to think of like who I haven't mentioned, what I'd like to see anyway. Because some of those I think will happen. It's just a matter of time. But I've got to get Ilmac in there because I love Ilmac. No, let's go Ilmac and the Saurus versus Shuffle T and Marlow.
Yeah, I think.
Has that one been said?
Oh man, pretty much everyone has mentioned that.
I was gonna say I reckon that's like people's go-to.
Everyone wants to see that, don't they? So
for good reason.
Yeah.
Very justifiably. Yeah, that would be phenomenal. I'd love to have that on a card.
I spoke to Breezy a couple of days ago, and unfortunately it was booked for All-Star in December. But due to the whole Apex situation, they couldn't afford it.
I know Don't Flop have tried to book that before as well. Like, that's such a shame that that's not happened in any league, any capacity. I'm sure it will then. If all parties are interested, that's good news then. That means they both wanted to do it. Let's go. Okay, I'll tell you who I don't like a lot of URL battlers.
Me either.
Format, it just doesn't massively do it for me, but there's a few that I love. I love New Jersey Twerk.
Yeah.
So let's go for New Jersey Twerk versus Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Let's have another punchy one. Tony D versus Rumnitty.
Nice. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I think they're two of the best punchline rappers in battle rap. This is where it gets tricky. I'm sure there's so many I could go for. Why not? I think O'Shea versus Dumbfounded.
Nice. Okay. No, I like it.
That'd be good. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. I might even put no. I'll keep that one. Then, oh God, there's just so many great people I'm gonna leave out. It's the problem. When you're thinking off the top of your head, who else do I need to put on there? 100%. Maybe Ian Solomon's got to be in there. Maybe. I don't know how many have I got. Like 8. That's a good card, right?
That's a very good card, but yeah, no.
I think I'm scrambling too much at the moment, and like those ones are kind of immediate in at least some way. So I'll stick with that 8, and there'll be a couple surprise battles on the night that I'm sure you'd love.
I like it.
Maybe this is the thing. Maybe I do Tony Divas Holo the Don instead of Rum Nitty.
Okay. No, I like that, man.
Do Rum Nitty versus maybe like Archaic. That'd be sick.
Rum Nitty versus Shocks has come up a few times, and
oh yeah, Shocks, man. Yeah, Shocks.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Or Shocks. Either really. I think in that particular instance I might prefer Archaic, but let's say like I don't know. Yeah, that's a good card. Let's leave it at that. Then there's a surprise battle that Shocks is in that I haven't figured out. There you go, that's my card.
Nice. No, very good card, man. I like that a lot. And then, I mean, that kind of rounds off the battle rap related questions, mate. But I've been ending.
Wait. I'll put Shocks versus my verse because she's dope and there's no females on my card. And that's bad. So that's my last battle as well. Not just because she's female. She's dope. I like my verse. So let's do Shocks versus my verse and just let them bar away. Cool. That's 10. I finished it. Yes.
Like it. No, my verse is sick. I like that. But yeah, I mean, in terms of there's a couple of other questions I've been asking that are music related, and then just completely random questions at the end. But
cool.
What's the best live performance you've ever seen in terms of like music gigs that you've attended?
That's live music performance. This is hard. I've been to a lot of gigs, but I'm not like the biggest live music head. I haven't seen a lot of my favorite artists live.
Okay.
Pretty much any of my favorite artists live. So it's pretty tough thinking of the best live music act. I might have to pass on that one. I need to think about it.
That's cool, man. No worries. And I'm afraid the next one's a bit more difficult, but
I'm trying to spoil the fun. I'll answer it.
Top 3 albums, like your personal top 3. And I know it's subjective, it changes all the time, but what immediately comes to your mind?
Any of the albums I put forward, it would be hard to pick one from that artist, so I'm going to have to be a little bit arbitrary. I'd have to have a Lupe Fiasco album in there.
Okay.
Undoubtedly for me. Maybe I'll go with The Cool.
Nice.
But again, Food and Liquor 2, Drogas. There's a lot of albums. I actually really like Lasers as well. But yeah, I'll go with The Cool for Lupe. I think he's the best rapper for me of all time. I love Linkin Park, man. So again, super influential for me, being that just a multi-genre mix of things of really one of the early artists to talk about pain.
They come up a lot, actually, man. A lot of people have mentioned Linkin Park.
I mean, the way they approach things from a very modern perspective, but were very ahead of it. Yeah, I love Linkin. I love Chester. Like Hybrid or Meteora. At the time, I loved Meteora. Maybe I'll go with that one. But again, you could pick any of those albums, really. So I'll go with Linkin Park's Meteora. Again, so many genres. Do I pick another rapper, or do I you know what, it's going to annoy me to say, I don't like Kanye West as a person. Like, he annoys me. But he's made some great music.
No, I'm with you completely there.
So I could put Graduation, or no, probably My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is one I'd pick. From Kanye. No, let me go something completely different. Not rap related, because that's too obvious. Let's go for. I just had one in my head and then it went. That's so annoying. Let's go for Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. Maybe like, oh god, Bad or Thriller. I don't know. Let's all right. We'll go for the cool Meteora and Thriller.
Nice.
Bad. Yeah.
That's a good mixture. I like it. And in terms of the 3 random questions that I've been finishing up with, so one of them we've already got. So one is favourite sports team. So we've got Crystal Palace.
Yes.
If you could pick anywhere in the world for your next holiday or trip abroad, where do you want to go the most?
Yeah, super good question. You know what? Before this lockdown, I was meant to go to South Africa.
Oh, incredible.
I have to refund my flight. Yeah. I've never left Europe, so I'm going to stay somewhere outside of Europe. Like, my favourite place in Europe is Berlin. I'd love to go back there again. I love that city. Let's go for... I'm going to say like that. I really want to go to... I'm going to say them as 2 because they're quite close to each other geographically, so it would be one trip, like New York and then like Toronto. So hitting North America and Canada like in one trip. That I really want to go there. Yeah,
it's a good answer, man. Like that. And then, would you say Berlin's the best place you've been so far then?
That's like, yeah, there's loads of cities I've liked. I mean, Paris and, yeah. Italy, I'm half Italian. A lot of people wouldn't know that about me, but I don't necessarily look it. So I've been to Italy a lot. I go to Italy a lot. So Italy is probably my favorite place in Europe. But outside of that, Berlin, yeah.
Nice. No, okay, man. And like, where in Italy is it that you've been, or have you kind of been all over?
Yeah, so my family and all that. It's sort of central, but East Coast. That sort of point. But I've also got family in Rome, so I've been to Rome quite a few times. I love that city. It's beautiful. It's incredible. So yeah. Italy's
nice.
Great, man. And just Italian food and so much about Italy that I love.
Yeah, of course. I understand that. And then Italy is actually one of the few countries in Europe that I've still not been to. So I would love to get over there as soon as possible. But
and you know what? It's so different culturally, dialect. There's so many factors that make so many parts of Italy so different. I think there's a whole bunch of places you can go to and have a different experience. So definitely go.
No, definitely, man. Like I've been in Italy. Like basically about 10 years ago now, I went to Outlook Festival in Croatia. And
oh, nice. Okay.
We flew into Venice and got to we had a very quick look around Venice for about an hour, but didn't get to go on a gondola or anything like that. And we got a pizza to take on the coach and then left kind of thing. So I don't really class it as actually going to Italy, if you know what I mean. But
That's a nice
Loved
drive
it.
though, man. Me and my Italian friends, we went to Croatia, like Zerchi Beach, like Novalia, that sort of area, and
Yeah.
in the summer, proper like party season. Like it was so fun. Yeah, we like sort of hired a car and drove up from Italy, and it's a nice drive as well. Like it's proper beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, Croatia was
definitely.
dope, man. I could have even said that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. I don't know what's going to happen at the moment. Everything's a bit up in the air, but my girlfriend bought tickets for Outlook again this year, so going to
Oh,
be going back.
nice.
So it's in a different location as well. So hopefully that still goes down. But
Hey, 2020, 2021, whatever it is, you'll get out there.
yeah, man. But the final question has caused some serious controversy so far.
Sounds like a
But
lot of your questions have done this, mate. I'm not gonna lie. Like you've you mention this every time. You kind of worry me about what you're gonna ask. Let's go. Let's go.
so you can pick one sweet and one savory, but what's the go-to snack?
Chocolate fingers, man.
Yeah, okay. No, I like that.
Chocolate fingers for that. Like that's like you say. The sweet and savory brackets are hard, but chocolate fingers for like biscuit. I think that's the best biscuit.
Okay.
For me, that
I like
it
it.
doesn't get better than that. And then we'll go for just ice cream, man. Proper Italian ice cream.
No, nice.
That's
That's
it.
good
Right.
answers, mate. And I've had some absolute stinkers, to be fair. So,
People aren't saying stuff like Mars bars or salt and vinegar crisps.
oh, worse, man. Like, I
Really?
think
What's that?
I've pretty much bitched about him at the end of every episode now. So apologies to LS Dean, but he said he said chocolate coated raisins, which
Oh, that is what a bad answer, man.
like
Sorry, Dean, man. I fuck with you, man. But that raisins, man. Like I was literally complaining to my friend yesterday about raisins, man. They were cooking
it's
something.
what
He
you
was like
eat
my
if there's
housemate. He was like,
nothing
you
else.
want some of this? I was like, there's raisins in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I can't get on board with that.
No, and then Jolly J said Marmite Twiglets. I nearly cut.
That's like I've never understood how that people eat that.
No, same.
People who eat that stuff and drink sparkling water. I don't understand these people. What are they tasting? It doesn't
Yeah,
make sense to me. Sorry, I'm getting very offended about opinions here, but it's real shit, man. Like,
yeah,
this stuff is not nice.
I'm
What
with
are you
you
putting yourself
completely.
through? Like,
Marmite as a
the
whole,
thing is,
man,
like,
just
you go
no.
to a shelf. Imagine, like, you go to a supermarket shelf here, and there's 100 different types of chocolate bar and 100 different types of crisps. You're buying a Mars bar and Twiglet. You can get a Kinder Bueno. The amount of stuff you can get, and you pick up this shit. I don't trust these people, man. I wouldn't hang out with them. I wouldn't trust them to vote for things. Nothing, man.
No, I'm with you. It's that's what I mean, man. When I put these questions together, I wasn't expecting it to cause such anger, but it really has.
Mate, when people come back from the shops with some of the stuff they do, I go, was that the only thing in the shop? Because that's your only excuse here.
I mean, in recent times, it would make sense, but yeah, it's.
You know what's banging? Them McCoy's cheddar and onion. That shit's crack. That's crack cocaine flavored crisps right there.
I'm not a big McCoy's fan, I'll be honest.
Mate, the texture, those the flavor, all of it, mate, all of it. Well, Pom Bears, that's a classic for me. Pom Bears.
Okay, that's a good shout. For me,
Can't go wrong
with
with Pom
crisps,
Bears.
mate, I'm a simple man. The cheaper the crisps, the better. I'll take pickled onion Space Raiders over anything.
Yeah, that's in my like mid tier bracket. But I fuck with that. That's good. That's good. There's a lot worse answers you can give for crisps, man.
Oh, definitely.
People come out with some shockers, man. But someone's got to keep these people in business, so there you go.
It's true. But no, Kraft, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, man. It's been very good chatting to you. And is
Thanks,
there
man.
anything that you wanted like plugged in the description to the video, like any projects that you're working on or anything like that?
I'm not really putting the pressure on projects at the moment, like because we're in this isolation. I'm staying creative. I'm being creative and all this, but I've got nothing. Because it's not live events or anything happening. So no, just hit me up, man. I'm craft_D on Twitter. I've got an Instagram now as well. So I used to always say, people ask if I have Instagram, I'd be like, no. And just generally one of those adults who don't know what the kids are up to, I guess. But no, I've got all the other social media now. So yeah, Instagram, Yo Crafty. So yeah, follow me up on there as well. And yeah, that's really it. I hope everybody is happy and keeping safe, and that their loved ones and relatives are safe. And yeah, enjoy your time. Do things that make you happy, and don't put pressure on yourself. And maybe I'll see everyone at some live events when this is all over. But this
Definitely.
has been kind of this has been great. It's been like reminding yourself about the real world a little bit and talking about that. So yeah, thank you.
No worries, man. Yeah, it just seemed like a good time to get some content going. Like I'm none the wiser with doing podcasts or anything like that, but I threw myself in the deep end and
No, man, it's been great. It's been great. I much prefer talking about crisps and football than battle rap and politics and stuff. So it's been good.
Exactly. No, I like it, man. But yeah, again, thank you very much for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it. The episode will be up within the next few days, and hopefully we get to chop it up again in the future, man.
Amazing. Definitely, man. Take it easy, yeah?
You too. Take care, man. Stay safe.